Welcome to episode 4. Switching gear, coffee in hand, Strats.
Guys out the coffee already.
Strats.
We are doing Strat Wars today. We have both Strats are owned by Joe. And so I know nothing about either one of those, except for the fact that I really dig the red with the black pickguard. And that's pretty cool too. Black with the mirrored pickguard.
Yeah, so what we have here, we have two Strats from two different eras manufactured in two different countries. So what we're doing here is we're putting an American Strat up against a Japanese Strat. There's about 10 years or so in between these guitars. This is a 2010 American Select Strat. This was, I believe, the first Strat, and you can correct me please in the comments if I'm misstating this, but I believe this was the first Strat produced with a solid mahogany body. Usually Strats are alder or ash or something.
First thing I check is how heavy it is to see if it's a mahogany body.
Heavy.
It's pretty damn heavy.
It's a heavy guitar.
Yeah.
This guitar was based off of the deluxe models, and we'll get to that with the specs in a minute. This guitar right here is a 2001 Iron Maiden Strat. You could see the little Iron Maiden logo up here. Eddie. This was made in Japan.
Maiden.
Made in Japan. Okay. This was made only, I think, in 2001. So it was only produced for the 1 year. And at that time, I bought it. I thought it was the coolest thing. I'm like, this is awesome. It's Maiden. Got to have it.
Yeah.
And that's why I purchased. So, like I said, 10 years apart, two different countries they're manufactured in, and we're going to talk about the differences between the two of them and see if there's one we like better.
Well, I'll tell you, the one story I want to tell is why I'm attracted to this guitar, because I think it brings back a very cool childhood memory that I want to talk about and I want to share.
I'll drink coffee.
You'll drink coffee. We like coffee. So, rewind the clock many years, and I'm a 5th grader. And I'm interested in guitar. My brother plays guitar. I think he had black BC Rich at the time or something. And kid moves to the area. This kid by the name of Mike, and he plays guitar. And he says, "You gotta come over. We gotta play guitar." I was getting into it, so he had already been into it, and I was interested in jamming with a guy, or just at least trying to see if I could keep up with anyone my age. So I go to this kid's house, and there it is, red Strat, black pickguard. Looks very similar to this. Obviously, this is before the year this was made, so it's not this guitar or this model, but same look wise. Anyway, this kid was an unbelievable guitar player at 5th grade, and so fast forward, he's the type of kid that he moves to town. Even within town, he kept moving houses. They'd live in this house, and they'd live in this house. Kept in touch with him for probably 2 or 3 years. The next thing, moves away. Never hear from the guy again. I'm like, I wonder whatever happened to Mike Rapole. Right? So, I don't know, year 2002, Google comes out, whatever it is. I Googled the guy's name, stalk him. And sure enough, the guy's like a pro guitar player.
Okay.
At this time, he's got album credits up the wazoo. Mary J. Blige, this one out. I'm like, oh my God, this guy made a career of himself. To date, he's the musical director for Babyface. This guy's like the absolute real deal.
Wow.
And it's funny because he goes by the name Nomad, which really is indicative of how it was when I knew him. He was moving from house to house to house.
That's where he got the name.
Well, it has to be because, I guess that was just what he grew up with. He was like always they're always moving around, so he's the Nomad. And he actually goes by Nomad now, and he's a really great guitar player. You guys should go check him out. But, it really, thinking back, it probably had a lot to do with why I play guitar today. I was inspired by him.
That's awesome.
And it's a really cool story, and this guitar totally reminds me of that.
So I'm glad that you said that story. I'd like to do an episode where we talk about our inspirations.
Influences, yeah, 100%. Yeah, they come from everywhere.
We could talk a whole episode.
I got 1 million.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so that's the deal.
So this guitar was based off of the American Deluxe Strat, which was sort of the top end Strat at the time. You have the roller nut.
Yep.
You have the locking tuners, right, which is cool. You have the sculpted neck heel joint over there. Help your hand with access up to the higher frets. Rosewood fingerboard. It's a hum single configuration. It came with, I think it was called the Fender Atomic.
Let me guess, is the tones on in here now?
Well, hold on, we'll get to that. It came with an Atomic, I think, humbucker, and these were, I think, what they called the Tex-Mex single coils, which are still there. I never changed those out, but I did swap out the humbucker. It sounded good. It didn't sound great to me. So what did I put in there, Craig?
Tone Zone, maybe.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did put a
Who
tone
would have
zone.
known?
Why did I put a tone zone in there?
Because it's your favorite pickup.
It's my favorite pickup, but besides that, I did actually try a few different pickups in there. I had a Duncan Custom in there. I had a DiMarzio Evolution pickup in there, and maybe one other. And they just weren't right for this guitar for me. And again, I've had the tone zone in a few of my other guitars. It's worked wonders. It's taken guitars I've had that sounded pretty bad, made them sound incredible.
Yeah.
And it worked for this guitar.
Nice.
It has the deluxe bridge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you see the deluxe saddles.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
It's comfortable
in
it's
your hand,
smooth.
for sure.
And it also, you know, the tremolo arm just is a push right in. It doesn't screw in, which is cool.
Yeah.
And it also has the S switching system, which if you press the button on the volume right, it changes the phase or the polarity or something of the pickups. So it gives you more pickup sounds.
Sure.
Which is kind of cool. Other than that, it's a C-shaped neck. It's kind of a chunky neck, actually.
It is. It totally is. Yeah.
It has the painted headstock, black painted headstock. Usually Fenders don't have the painted headstock.
It's usually pale.
With the silver
like,
spaghetti logo,
Mm-hmm.
which I was attracted to. It reminded me of, when I first saw it, reminded me of the Brad Gillis Strat. Remember Brad Gillis?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Night Ranger, and when he played Nazi, and he had the red Strat with, you know, the black painted headstock. I always thought that was cool.
Yeah. Nice. It's a sweet looking guitar. No doubt about it. Plays pretty nice. I think I'd probably like that one better.
Yeah, so this one...
It's got the Floyd.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming this is an older body. It's lighter. It has a Floyd Rose. It has 3 stacked humbuckers. Mirrored pick guard. That's the one thing that sort of sets it apart. And the speed knobs versus, you know, the traditional top hat or whatever they're called. Those knobs.
And those are the original pickups?
These are all original. Yeah, they came with the Seymour
Duncans,
Duncans.
huh? Yeah.
Came with Duncans. I think this is a Little Screaming Demon. And these look like hot rails to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's accurate. I believe it is. Obviously, it's a maple neck and a maple fretboard. You don't have anything fancy with the tuners. It's just old style tuners because it's a locking nut.
Floyd, yeah, you
have
got
a
the
Floyd,
locking nut
so you
up
don't
there.
really
Sure.
need anything fancy up there.
Mm-hmm.
It has the Iron Maiden logo, as we said. And this guitar feels totally different than that one. The neck dimension is different. It's narrower. It's thinner to me. It's flatter. The frets, I think, are a little bit bigger on this one.
They look at from here. You can it looks that way.
You know, the fret dressing, I don't think was great on this, and I don't know.
Was
if
it
that
an inexpensive guitar?
Well,
I mean, it was made in Japan.
It was made in Japan.
so,
So
yeah.
at the time, the Japanese models were the less expensive models. Today, they're actually more collectible, and they're becoming expensive because they don't
They're
produce
not making
them
them
there.
there, yeah.
They're not making them there.
So that's
anymore.
one of the things I do with the more inexpensive guitars. I give it that test to see how the frets feel. Usually it's jaggedy and hurts as you move your hand up.
And this one is a little jaggedy.
Mhm.
And so I'm assuming that that's what was indicative of those production techniques back then. But even with that being said, it plays really well. You know, it's really smooth, it's fast, it's got good sustain. You know, it's a nice guitar.
Feel pretty comfortable on that one, I see.
Yeah, you know, it's you know, for me, it's how much is the guitar fighting you,
Yeah,
and this guitar doesn't fight me as much as that one.
that's the key. You don't want the guitar working against you. You want it working with you.
You don't, and I'll be honest with you, I was a little disappointed when I got this because I expected it to play a little bit better for me. I was looking for something that could be a really cool all-around sort of utility instrument, even though I have other guitars that do that. And that was the prime reason why I bought it. And plus, the way it looked. I was like, this guitar looks
it's
cool.
great.
I want this,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And I was hoping it would be that, you know, the way it felt. It's a little chunky for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I couldn't. This definitely doesn't suit my style at all. volume knob is extremely close. It definitely gives my hand no room to do its picking technique, and I would definitely resort to the fan on this to fan out the fingers. And again, it is a fatter neck, so just not for me.
Right.
I'd like to try that one though and see if that one is for me. So let's check this out.
Switch it away.
Let's switch the gear. Yeah, it feels lighter right off the bat. I think there's less room here and bigger volume knobs
Smaller
here.
volume knob.
But yeah, the neck definitely feels a little thinner. It still feels chunkier than the wizard necks that I'm used to.
Right.
But I do like the feel of the Floyd because that's something I definitely dig. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, I rolled the volume. Even with that, the volume rolled on me.
Wow. So there you go.
So I can tell as I'm playing, I feel the sustain leaving my fingers.
And you're like, what's going
on? And I'm like, oh, really? And this is why I have to move the volume now.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to alter my technique.
No, you shouldn't have to. And that's the thing. I mean, you find the instrument that works for you, or you modify it to work for you. You shouldn't have to change what's going on.
I realized we would drop D even when I was playing, so some of those licks may not work. Right now. Listen, you can get aggressive with it. There's no doubt. It's fretting out a little bit up there.
Noisy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one fights you a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, this one I think I could get used to quicker. I'm not used to it now because of some of these little quirky things that I just happen to be quirky about.
Right.
But I think this one I would get acclimated to a lot quicker than that one. That one just can't do it for me. Sorry.
So what's the verdict? The verdict is this one wins?
Yeah, 100% for me. I mean, again, it's weird. It's like you would think that is probably the higher end, higher echelon of Fender.
Right.
But
it's USA made. It's got all the bells and whistles, you know, the locking tuners, the roller note, all that stuff.
But I like the playability on this one better. I like the Floyd. I like the neck a little better. Unusual because I generally don't like the maple necks, but in this particular case, it's the feel of the neck, the width-wise, thickness, radius-wise, I like better. So it more than makes up for the fact that it's a maple neck.
Right.
But I like the bridge. I hate the volume knobs. I hate where they are. Listen, I was just playing and you saw it happen right before your eyes. There's a reason why I don't like it like this. I'm sorry, but it's just the case. But, you know, again, if I own this guitar, these unnecessary tone knobs would be jacked out. And his volume would probably either be here or here. And I'd be in business. Yeah. I'd be ready to go. And I would probably love this guitar. Because it does have the Floyd, and it's cool. Neck's not terrible. It's good. I like it. So, for me, this one wins hands down.
Yeah, it wins for me too.
Yeah,
it wins for me. I wish this one did again, because I love the aesthetic on this guitar, and like I said, I was looking for like an all-around utility guitar. I prefer not having the Floyd. I like Floyds, but I would prefer it just for ease of use. Right, it's easier to manage.
Yeah, it's funny too because when I look at a Strat, I never expect to see a Floyd.
Right.
So it's a little weird. It feels like it's out of place a little for me. I don't know, but I like Floyds better. It's probably why I've never really owned a Strat, is because I always associate the Floyds with my Ibanez's or Jacksons or something like that.
Right,
and it doesn't really fit for me on a Fender. But I don't know. I dig it.
All right.
This is the winner.
All right, guys.
Till next time.
See you around.